You're listening to Daily Sip with Marcel, giving you morning moments of insight, laughter, and a little something to stir the soul.
Yeah. Welcome back to Daily Sip with Marcel, your daily dose of lukewarm coffee truths and steaming hot relationship wisdom. Yes, today is December 3rd, 2025, and we're not just stirring our coffee, my friends. We're stirring the pot of conventional dating advice. Yeah, this is for you, ladies, as I press the button on my Mr. Coffee. Perfection. Now, let's get right to it. For decades, the dating gurus have preached the gospel of abs, bank accounts, and the elusive bad boy charm. But I'm here today, ladies, to tell you that they've missed the real secret ingredient to relationship success for us guys. So grab your mugs, because today the tea we are spilling is actually science, and it's going to save your love life. The key, my sippers, is intelligence. That's right, not just know how to tie his shoes intelligence, but the kind of sharp, curious, emotionally astute brain power that can actually hold a conversation about, say, the existential dread of a houseplant. My lady sippers, have you ever looked at a guy who has glasses, maybe a little nerdy looking, and said to him, "No thanks, I need a bad boy"? Well, according to the new report from the New York Post, you might be throwing away the keys to your kingdom. Why? Because frankly, dumb relationships are exhausting. They are like trying to assemble IKEA furniture with a spoon. You're constantly translating, explaining, or worse, just nodding blankly while your partner wonders if the sun is actually a giant flashlight. Intelligent men, on the other hand, are the Swiss Army knives of partnerships. Here's the deal. Researchers from Oakland University decided to get nosy. They rounded up 202 men and put them through the ringer to test their fluid intelligence. That's fancy talk for can you solve problems and adapt without a cheat sheet. They literally made these guys solve letter and number sequences to see if their brains were firing on all cylinders. And my friends, the results, the results are the reason you need to text this episode to your single best friend right now. The study found that men who struggled with these puzzles, the guys with lower fluid intelligence, were walking red flags. Yes, ladies, we are talking about men who are more likely to insult their partners, use controlling guilt trips, and even engage in sexual coercion. And the study gets more specific. The researchers noted that the guys who couldn't figure out the next number in the sequence were also more likely to suffer from issues like psychopathy and, wait for it, erectile dysfunction. I'm not making this stuff up. If he can't solve the puzzle, he might have trouble solving problems in the bedroom. If you catch my drift, my lady sippers. On the flip side, the guys who ace the test, they aren't just good at math. The study suggests high fluid intelligence is linked to better emotional management and understanding. They are less impulsive and less likely to tell you you're fat or get jealous for no reason. Basically, Ross Geller from Friends and Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory are the blueprints for stability. The trend is real, ladies. Women are out there claiming that if he owns a lightsaber, they're a certified green flag. Now, men, I know what some of you are thinking. I'm a brilliant man, yeah. Why am I still single? Well, my friend, perhaps you're using your intelligence to calculate the optimal way to avoid folding laundry. We are talking about a well-rounded intelligence here, the kind that can debate foreign policy and remember your mom's birthday. Now, I have to be fair because I'm a journalist at heart, and my friends, the scientists did say we have to interpret this with caution because the study was exploratory and only looked at men. We can't say for sure that being smart causes you to be a good partner, but the correlation is looking pretty tight, my friends. So here is what I want you to understand and know today. This is bigger than just you, gentlemen. This is your public service announcement. And this is where you, the brilliant listener, come in. This information is like a secret handshake of the happily coupled. We can't keep it to ourselves, my friends. Yes, you have a moral, social, and romantic obligation to share this episode. Why, my friends? Because the world needs to know that the best partners are the ones who make you smarter just by talking to them. We need to raise the romantic stock market for men who invest in their brains. Every time you forward this, an intelligent, emotionally available man gets one step closer to being appreciated, and a listener gets one step closer to realizing that a man's best asset is not his six-pack, but his six-syllable vocabulary. And ladies, if you're listening, let this be your new dating mantra. I seek a man whose intellect can handle my complex feelings and the remote control. So now it's time to reflect on today's sip. We spend so much time dressing up our appearance, our careers, and our social media profiles, but the most valuable asset you can bring to a relationship is the quality of your mind. It's okay if he looks like a nerd, as long as he loves like a genius, because a mind that can handle complex problems is a mind that can handle you. The truly great love stories aren't just about two people meeting. They're about two people growing. And you can't have growth without a solid foundation of curiosity, empathy, and the intelligence to admit when you're wrong, which for most men is the hardest cognitive task of all. Be the man who doesn't just look good in a photo, but who makes the entire relationship photo album look better because he brings depth, humor, and insight to every single day. Invest in your brain, my friends. Yes, my gentlemen sippers, it's the only muscle that gets more attractive with age. And that's all the time we have for today's Daily Sip with Marcel. Go forth, be brilliant, and please, for the love of a well-informed banter, share this podcast. Thanks for spending part of your day with me. If today's sip gave you something to think about, smile about, or share, pass it on. Be sure to follow the show so we can keep sipping together. Until next time, I'm Marcel. Stay grounded, stay grateful, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for letting me be part of your day. And until next time, keep noticing what makes life taste a little better. And if you're loving this, don't just sip in silence. Follow us, hit the subscribe button, and pour this into someone else's cup. Share it, spread it. Let's wake the world up together, one daily sip at a time.